Wayne Sussman joining me once again here on eNCA. Hello to you, Wayne. We let you loose. You quickly espressoed up as well. So we're heading up to around 9 minutes to 6 o'clock this morning. And I was looking earlier, we were talking briefly about eThekwini, but I didn't see numbers coming in yet from eThekwini. And I'm seeing some people asking me, Gareth, what's happening with eThekwini? But we need to remember the results are only going to be announced for a region, a municipality, once the IEC has declared it. They're not going to just put up random numbers, are they?
Correct, unless you have reliable sources on the ground of people you can trust and you can verify their figures. So we've just got to be patient for this process. And again, in the coming minutes, we believe we'll be able to make some major projections here on eNCA. Or some big announcements, and it's going to be very, very interesting.
And this is why you're here, is to make these projections for us. Because when it comes to numbers, thank heavens it's not me running this. I'd probably have us in the wrong country if you left the numbers up to me. How do the projections start working? The data that you're looking at as well. I mean, don't give me all the secrets, obviously, Wayne. But when you're looking at these numbers, when does the aha moment actually land upon you?
So typically when one looks at a metro, let's say there are suburbs, there's the inner city, there are more rural parts of the metro, and there are townships. And we need to see a variety of data points coming from that, and then we compare it with historic data. And once a trend emerges, we'll be pretty sure to make a projection. We're not going to be reckless in this regard, but we want to make sure that eNCA viewers will see the results as soon as they are ready. So just for example, one thing with eThekwini, this is an area where the EFF, that's why earlier when we discussed the numbers, I know that the EFF are going to do very well in eThekwini.
Yeah.
And that's why their numbers in KwaZulu-Natal will go up. We also know that the IFP are expected to make some inroads into eThekwini. So we need to look at these numbers, compare it to 2019, compare it to 2016, and when we reach the moment of truth, we'll make that call.
And a little bit later as well, I'm looking behind me to see if we have our video wall ready for some of the information that I have as we look back at the 2016 metros and the historical votes. We can go all the way back to 2000 as well, Wayne. Let me bring in one of the other areas that I think so many people are watching this morning. I'm just looking at eThekwini at the moment. Wayne, if you feel you need to check data on your photos, then go ahead. For those in eThekwini, according to the IEC website, there's nothing in eThekwini yet. But one of the other ones we were talking about, we just touched on it, didn't we, Wayne, while you look for some data for me as well, is that of Gauteng. Now, I know that our viewers have been seeing the national results, and we can bring that up again. It's just over 11% of the votes counted so far. There is the national picture at the moment. I'm going to ask our team, if they don't mind, because, Wayne, I want to ask you about this. Can we take our logo out? Guys, for just a moment, I'll tell you why, because I need that bottom right-hand number for the independence. I'm not sure if we can take our bug out, our logo, for a moment. I want to look at the numbers for independence while we try and see if I can find the right button. Thank you, guys. There we go. I found it. Crack team here on the SA Morning. 16,875 is the independence there. And a big talking point has been the independence, Wayne, over the last couple of weeks. I know we're only 11% or so into the vote counting, but that doesn't look like that's going to make a difference. But I want to plead ignorance. That's at a national level, and independent could make a big difference on a municipal level, can't they?
So let's wait and see. But what we know in 2016 is that independents, and remember, this is very important to remember, they're only on one ballot paper. So most of us, when we went into the voting stations yesterday, got a ward vote and a PR ballot paper. Right. Independents are not on the PR ballot paper. In 2016, they actually finished 5th behind the IFP. So when one looks at the raw numbers there, they're actually not doing as well as they did last time. You see the emergence of parties like the Patriotic Alliance, the emergence of parties like Action SA. So look, a lot of data is still got to come in, but right now the independents are not doing as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about Gauteng, if we could. We touched on this a little bit earlier as well. And I'm seeing Jan-Jan Joubert is going to be joining us in a couple of minutes as well. So, team, perhaps come to me on a single shot here. Let's see if we can get Jan-Jan Joubert in here while I just remind viewers where we are in Gauteng for the moment. If you just joined us at 5 away from 6, let me run through Gauteng for you. At the moment, the Democratic Alliance, I see sitting on 38.86%. The ANC, according to the IEC results, 29.78%. And the EFF in Gauteng, 10.49%. Vryheidsfront Plus in Gauteng, 8.61%. Action SA, 4.34%. How many times did we speak to Herman Mashaba? He said he was going to try and make a move into Gauteng. His party currently sitting on 4.34%. The PA, they are currently sitting, where have you gone? Just refresh the page. Sorry, everyone. There we go. 0.92%. ACDP, 0.84% in Gauteng. The IFP, 0.76%. And I can keep on going as well, but that's the national picture you're looking at. When the data comes through, we'll talk about that as well. Jan-Jan Joubert, you've had a lot of coffee. I can see it. You're raring to go. How are you feeling?
We are amped.
We're amped.
Yes, the decision desk, of which 2 members are sitting here and 2 are behind the scenes, are ready to make a call.
We are ready to make a major projection in the 2021 local government election. And that is that the Democratic Alliance will retain the city of Cape Town, and 34-year-old Jordan Hill-Lewis, the Shadow Minister of Finance, will be the next Mayor of Cape Town to replace the current Mayor, Dan Plato.
So that's a call we have just made here on eNCA. If you've just joined us, we're just a touch away from 6 o'clock this morning. In the middle of your screen right now, Jan-Jan Joubert, a familiar face as well, is Wayne Sussman on the far right-hand side. So when we're making these calls, the Democratic Alliance for the city of Cape Town, even giving the name of the person in charge as well, how did we get to this decision? I know that the decision desk, we're not going to give away all our secrets, of course, but how did we reach this, Jan-Jan?
Basically, we built a projection model which uses the results from the previous election and then extrapolates them into the current election using current trends. We use the voting history of the voting stations that we have, their relative size, their turnout, and then the changes within the party preferences of the voters there. And from that we can say that we are confident that the Democratic Alliance will retain the city of Cape Town and that Jordan Hill-Lewis will be the Mayor of Cape Town.
I'm looking for the city of Cape Town as well. Let me see if I can just bring up those numbers for you as well. There you can see at bottom of your screen, and we've just had it from the decision desk here on eNCA. That is 54% for the Democratic Alliance. The ANC, we're going to unpack this as well in a moment,
yes,
aren't we? The ANC, 18%, the EFF just 4%, and Freedom Front Plus at 1.5%. So that is a projection that we have for you here on eNCA as well. And just remind us about the person coming into the top job now in the city of Cape Town as well.
Yeah, so a few years ago, as the youngest member of parliament, he's someone who's surrounded himself with all the DA leaders, I think going back to when Helen Zille was the leader. And he's ran a very disciplined and good campaign. He's born in the suburb of Edgemead, and he covered and traversed the whole city, ran a very positive campaign. And when one compares the campaign of the DA in the Western Cape nationwide, this was a superior campaign, and he brought the DA voters home yesterday. Despite the torrential downpour, he was able, and his party was able to get his supporters out. Yes, the DA are not going to get the same majority as they did last time, but they've done enough to ensure that the DA runs the city for the next 5 years. And
it looks, if you look at the numbers, Jan, there's a massive gap, isn't it, between the DA and the ANC as well. I mean, we saw, you and I were talking, weren't we, when we had Cyril Ramaphosa down in Cape Town. It almost seemed as though the DA and the ANC had decided to swap for the weekend. The DA came to Joburg and the ANC went down to the Western Cape. It clearly hasn't had much of an effect. We'll bring the numbers up for you again in a moment.
Yes, I want to explain those numbers quickly. So what we have at the moment is a projection with 7% of the vote in. Now, this projection is not a prediction, and it's not the final word.
So we're not making a call. That's not what
we are making a call that the DA will win.
Okay.
The margins might change, but they won't change all that much. We expect the DA to go up a bit. This is at the lower end of what the DA might have. And the other thing, those of you who count well will see that if you have 54 for the DA, 18 for the ANC, 4 for the EFF, and 1 for the Freedom Front, then you miss in the direction of 25-20%. Those votes are going to to the Patriotic Alliance, ECO, those kind of parties in varying degrees. We are not happy to call them yet because they are changing very quickly. I also want to say where those results are coming from. and what we are missing. We've had some results from Gugulethu and Khayelitsha. We've had some from Strand. We've had some from Kraaifontein area, Somerset West, and many from the Cape Flats. What we are missing that's important: Bellville, Durbanville, Kuilsrivier, and the southern suburbs. Very important that might change, don't you think, Wayne?
100%. So that is where you expect the DA's vote percentage to actually go up, because that's their traditional heartland in the city of Cape Town. And another party, just while we speak about this to watch, is the Cape Coloured Congress, a local Cape Town party. They did well in a Bonteheuwel by-election. They are picking up votes also, and right now on track, I think, to beat the Patriotic Alliance in the city of Cape Town. So this is the interesting dynamic. The DA have had a lot of challenges some on the left, some on the right, a lot of coloured nationalist parties, but they've withstood that challenge. Yes, they're not going to have the same massive majority as 2016, but they are going to return with a big majority.
And for the moment, we're going to say thank you to both of you as well. Jan-Jan Joubert, we'll try and get you back on a little bit later. Also, Wayne Sussman, thank you to both of you as well from the data decision desk here at eNCA. That eNCA projection you would have seen, the DA, we are projecting will hold on to the city of Cape Town. There it is. If you just joined us, good morning. 54% for the DA, 18% for the ANC, 4% for the EFF, 1.5% for the Freedom Front Plus. Bear in mind, though, still a lot of voting to be counted, but that is, according to the experts here, that is a projection. The numbers could change, but it does look like the DA are going to take Cape Town. We're back in a moment on the South African Morning.